Jim Carrey is undoubtedly the greatest comedian and energetic performer and one of the most famous entertainers of Hollywood. Though the Canadian-born actor is known for his epic comedy roles in blockbusters like The Mask, Liar Liar, How the Grinch Stole the Christmas, and Dumb and Dumber, the actor had to face some fair share of struggles in his real life. In fact, Jim Carrey has been open about his experiences with depression, anxiety, and traumatic memories of his childhood. But there is still a lot to Jim that a good number of people don't know. His funny performances are to die for, but what if this all is just a mask that he wears to hide his depression and loneliness? What if he has been playing different characters all his life and hiding his true identity? And what if the guy who made millions laugh could not bring a single smile to all the women he loved? Twice divorced, many times heartbroken, and at the receiving end of accusations for a wrongful lawsuit following the death of his girlfriend, Jim Carrey's life is a sad story filled with many twists and turns. So, are you ready to meet the guy who has nothing in common with his bizarre film characters? In today's video, I will reveal how Jim Carrey ended up heartbroken so many times. But before that, do me a favor and smash the like, subscribe, and notification bell button for more such content. Let's get right into it. It's never been a secret that Jim Carrey briefly dated Linda Ronstadt back in the 1980s. But who knew he was living with his parents at that time? It was the early 80s and a 21-year-old Carrey had just moved to Hollywood to star in a short-lived NBC TV series called The Duck Factory and had invited his parents to come live with him. Wait, but Jim and his parents are Canadians, aren't they? Why would they move to Hollywood? Actually, the thing is that Jim's family had to face some turbulent financial conditions after his father lost his job, and the whole family had to do small jobs and Carrey had to work as a janitor after school. And in no time, the situation got so worse that they became homeless and had to live in a VW camper van. But around the same time, Jim's mother got really sick due to numerous hardships they were facing. He decided to make his family happy by doing funny skits and comedic performances. That is when he discovered his skill. He made jokes to distract his mother because that was the only thing he could afford. In fact, when he was asked in an interview how he discovered his sense of humor, he responded by saying that I had a sick mom and I wanted to make her happy. So he transformed his depression into comedy as a way to escape from the unhappiness and struggles he was facing. And soon, with the help of his father Percy, who supported Jim, he began to polish his skills and within a few months he secured a role. That is why when he bought a small home in Hollywood and he invited his parents to live with him. Okay, so now it is clear why he lived with his parents. But talking about his affair with Linda Ronstadt, he met Ronstadt after she attended one of his performances at Los Angeles, the Comedy Store, looking for an opening act for her next tour. Ronstadt asked if he'd open show for her, and Carrey replied, "No, but I'll go out with you if you want," and so they did. We were together for about 8 months, Carrey says, and she was an absolutely incredible human being. She is an incredible human being. Carrey remembers that Ronstadt, who was in her mid-30s at that time, didn't mind he was living with his parents and took her out in a rusty car. But he said both of them knew it wasn't going to be a forever deal. At that time, Jim was more focused on his career and he was not only busy with his stand-up comedy, but he was also looking at films and dramas. It was around that time that Jim met his first wife, Melissa Woomer. They welcomed their daughter after some time. In fact, what's even interesting is that Melissa was the one who helped Jim climb up the stairs of success in Hollywood. A source told that in the early days of their marriage, Melissa held 2 jobs while Jim made $25 a night doing stand-up. But the success came with a lot of work-related stress and Jim was so focused on his career that he couldn't give much time to his relationship and family. Another reason was that according to Melissa, Jim was extremely depressive and she had to console him every 4 to 5 hours and it was so much difficult. This is so sad as one would think that Jim would get out of his depression once he achieved his comedy dream, but that was not the case. Similar situation happened with his next wife, Lauren Holly, who was also his co-star from the movie Dumb and Dumber. Although this relationship was a fame booster for Holly, yet she was not ready to deal with the consequences of it. She once mentioned that they never had any privacy due to Jim's fans following and their every move. Also, she mentioned how Jim borrowed weird traits from his funny and bizarre characters. The couple soon filed for divorce and many people had this opinion that Holly was just a gold digger looking for fame and she was spotted with her fellow co-actor Edward Burns. But Jim always denied these rumors. Or maybe the exes couldn't keep up with each other's temper and the baggage that Carrie came with. Next romance in Carrie's life was another co-star in the film Me, Myself, and Irene, Renee Zellweger. And the two even got engaged. In his book Memoir and Misinformation, Jim Carrey called Zellweger his last great love. Although they dated for over 2 years, starting a family was a question both of them would have liked to explore. As sources reveal, they split before the relationship would have become more serious. Jim's battle with bipolar disorder and depression played a significant part in the ending of their relationship. Afterwards, Jim also dated another actress, Jenny McCarthy, and their romance lasted for 5 years. The actor and the media personality made a fantastic couple, according to an article by People's Magazine published shortly after their breakup. Jim introduced Jenny to Eastern philosophy, one of his greatest passions, while the former Playboy playmate got him involved in a campaign raising awareness about autism. Carrey even hired a plane to ride J Hearts J across the LA skyline. Jim developed a special bond with Jenny's son, who also had autism. "I will always keep Jim as a leading man in my heart," Jenny told a magazine after the breakup. The main reason cited for their separation is depression, and it was said that Jim could not get rid of it even while dating Jenny. After their breakup, the actor Jim Carrey went on to date Angel Joseph, Anastasia Vitkina, and Natalia Gal, but none of these relationships lasted for a long time. This was all nothing compared to what was gonna happen to Jim after he met his non-celebrity girlfriend, Catriona White. Jim met the Irish makeup artist in 2012. The rough relationship lasted for 3 years, although they broke it off on several occasions. Catriona cut ties with the actor for good on September 28, 2015. She committed suicide the same night, only leaving a note addressing the actor behind, as it revealed that Jim had a bad influence on her. She wrote in the letter addressing Jim, "You introduced me to cocaine, prostitutes, mental abuse, and disease." And despite being split from Catriona when she died, Jim was so devastated that he even carried her coffin when she was laid to rest in her native Ireland. Catriona's mom, Bridget Sweetman, and her husband, Mark Burton, took legal action against the star in 2016, claiming she took her own life after he infected her with numerous STDs. However, the actor has now been cleared after it was found that a clean STD test taken before Catriona met Jim was faked. The Ace Ventura star always maintained his innocence, but after his big tragedy, he swore to never date anyone again. But this incident also had a big impact on Jim's reputation. Although he won all the cases filed against him, this dark event of his life prompted him to go in even further depression. And some people say that Jim took a break from acting because of the same trauma, but Jim denied and said he simply wanted a break from this business. Afterwards, he turned his attention towards a hidden skill he possessed. It was painting. Jim turned towards painting to liberate himself from depression and anxiety he faced, and even surprised his fans with an exhibition in Las Vegas. In 2019, Jim made his relationship with Ginger Gonzaga public, but the two dated for a small time and then separated. And now the 59-year-old actor is single and available in the market. Just kidding. But what's important to note here is that Jim had a tough life, and although he achieved his dream of becoming a successful comedy artist, his journey was never easy. He never found a long-lasting love, and his success and wealth could not satisfy him at all. But we can just hope and pray that the actor finds someone who can fill the spaces in his broken heart and add beautiful colors to it. So there you have it, why Jim Carrey was heartbroken so many times. What do you think about his sad story? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching.